Okay, so imagine this. You're running a big live event, or maybe a really critical video conference call.
High-stakes stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Or maybe even managing a command center.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, say, 4 different video sources.
Yeah, like a laptop, maybe a camera.
Right. A laptop could be a document camera, maybe a live feed coming in, and some pre-recorded video.
Okay.
And all of those need to go to 4 different screens. Could be monitors, projectors, big video walls.
Right, a complex setup.
Now, the tricky part,
Mm-hmm.
you need to switch any of those sources to any of those screens instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And crucially, without any flicker, no black screen popping up, no frustrating delays.
Yeah, that's the dream. And the nightmare if it goes wrong.
It really is. It's that kind of silent behind-the-scenes tech challenge that can honestly make or break the whole thing. And people often don't appreciate it when it works perfectly.
So true.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the hardware that makes that possible. Makes it, well, seamless.
The magic word.
It is. We're looking at the WolfPack 4K 30Hz 4x4 Seamless HDMI Matrix Switch, the one with the front panel controls.
Okay.
We've been digging through the product page, looking at the specs, the features, figuring out where it, really fits in.
And our mission here really is to cut through the technical specs, right?
Yeah.
We want to get to the heart of what this thing actually does, why those features matter, and who really needs this.
Exactly. What makes something like this essential for, clear, really impactful visuals?
Yeah, visuals that don't get interrupted.
Okay, let's unpack it then. At its core, what exactly are we talking about with an HDMI matrix switch? And what does 4x4 tell us?
Right. So basically an HDMI matrix switch, think of it like a really smart traffic controller, but for your HDMI video signals.
Okay.
It's not just a splitter, that sends one thing to many screens.
Yeah.
A matrix lets you send any input to any output.
Ah, so total flexibility.
Exactly. Or you could send one input to all 4 outputs if you wanted. The 4x4 part just means its capacity. 4 HDMI inputs, 4 HDMI outputs.
Got it. 4 sources, 4 displays.
Yep. And for a lot of AV setups, like smaller control rooms, classrooms, conference rooms, that 4x4 size is often kind of the sweet spot.
Makes sense. Enough flexibility, but maybe not overwhelming complexity or cost.
Precisely. You get a lot of routing power without needing, a massive enterprise-level system.
Okay, so that's the basic routing. But you mentioned seamless earlier. This switch boasts seamless switching. What does that actually mean when you're watching the video?
Oh, seamless. Yeah, that's the really big deal here. It means when you switch from, say, input 1 to input 2, you don't get that annoying black screen or a glitch or any kind of lag. The picture just changes instantly, smoothly.
Okay, that sounds crucial.
Oh, it is, especially in professional settings. Think about a live TV broadcast or a big presentation.
Or, medical imaging or something.
Exactly. Any interruption, even for a split second, it's really distracting. It looked unprofessional. It could even cause confusion.
So how does it do that? What's the tech behind making it seamless?
Well, the key things are it fixes the resolution for both the inputs and the outputs. And critically, it uses sophisticated EDID management.
EDID. I've heard that term. That's the communication between the source and the screen, right?
Exactly. It's like the digital handshake. The source asks the display, hey, what resolutions in audio can you handle? And the display tells it.
Okay.
This switch manages that whole process intelligently and makes sure everything is compatible before the switch happens, ensuring that smooth, clean transition. No surprises, no black screens.
That makes a huge difference to the viewer experience. They just see the content change, not the technology strength.
That's the goal. Keep the tech invisible.
All right, so seamless switching is key. What about the picture quality itself? This is listed as 4K 30Hz. How important is that resolution?
It's pretty important for clarity. It supports up to UHD, which is 3840 by 2160 pixels, and even DCI 4K, which is a bit wider, 4096 by 2160.
Wow. Okay.
Both at 30 frames per second or 30 hertz. So you're getting really crisp, detailed images.
And where does that really matter? You mentioned command centers earlier. How does that high-res, low-latency combo play out there?
Yeah, great example. In a command center, you might be looking at complex maps, feeds from high-res cameras, detailed sensor data.
Lots of fine detail.
Exactly. You need to see everything clearly, no blurriness.
Yeah.
And the low latency part is just as vital.
Meaning minimal delay?
Right. Almost no delay between what the source is sending and what you see on the screen. Imagine you're watching multiple live feeds during an incident.
Yeah, you need it in real time.
You need it now. Low latency means the information is current, decisions are based on what's happening right now. It feels immediate.
Okay. And I see it supports both HDMI and DVI.
Yep, inputs and outputs. That's good for compatibility. Lots of places still have some DVI gear alongside newer HDMI stuff. It makes integration easier.
Right, practical considerations. So it's not just about looking good, it's about like operational effectiveness.
Absolutely. Clarity, speed, accuracy, they all tie together.
No. Beyond the core performance, the seamless switching, the resolution, it's also pitched as being easy to use. What makes it user-friendly?
Well, first off, it has that front panel interface you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Actual buttons on the box.
Which is good for quick changes, I imagine.
Definitely. If you're right there, you can just punch in the routing you need. Very direct, very intuitive for live adjustments.
Okay. But there are other ways to control it too, right?
Oh, yeah. It has RS-232 control. That's kind of the industry standard for integrating it into bigger control systems.
Like Crestron or AMX systems.
Exactly. So you could have a touch panel in a conference room, press one button, and it tells this matrix switch what to do, along with lights, screens, everything else.
Automation. Nice.
And it even has RS-232 pass-through, so you can link multiple devices. Plus, it mentions optional IP control.
Ah, network control.
Right, which means you could potentially manage it remotely, over the network. Really useful for large venues or maybe IT managing AV closets from a central desk.
That adds a lot of flexibility. And what about those other features? Like EDID settings?
Yeah, that's pretty neat too. It has built-in EDID presets, 7 of them, apparently, with a default that's pretty standard, 1080p at 30 Hz.
But you can change it.
Yes, and you can even define your own user settings. This helps enormously if you have tricky displays or sources. It lets you force a compatible setting.
And less troubleshooting.
Hopefully. And then there are those practical things like low power standby and power cutoff memory.
Meaning it remembers its settings if the power blips.
Exactly. You don't have to reprogram it all over again. It just comes back up the way you left it. All these little details, they add up to make it easier to integrate and rely on.
Okay, that paints a pretty comprehensive picture of control and usability. So let's talk about where this thing lives. The product page lists a wide range of applications. Schools, auditoriums, conference rooms, lecture halls. Let's pick one. How about a modern lecture hall? Why is this kind of switch essential there?
Okay, lecture hall. Perfect example. The lecturer might have their laptop with slides.
Yep.
A document camera for showing physical notes or objects.
Okay.
Maybe they want to pull a web browser or play a video clip.
Right, multiple sources.
Exactly. And they might have a main projector screen, plus maybe some smaller repeater monitors down the sides for students in the back. Without a seamless matrix, every time they switch laptop to doc cam to video, you'd get that black screen. It breaks the flow, students lose focus.
Right, it's jarring.
Totally. With this, the image just changes instantly. The focus stays on the content, not the tech fiddling. They can even show different things on different screens simultaneously if needed.
Okay, that makes total sense. What about something like an exhibition display?
Yeah, like at a trade show. You might have a booth with multiple screens.
Right.
Maybe one showing a product demo loop, another with interactive content, a third showing a live feed or social media.
Dynamic stuff.
Very dynamic. And you need to manage all those HDMI sources, going to all those different displays reliably, maybe changing content throughout the day. Seamless switching keeps it looking polished, professional, high impact, no awkward gaps.
It really enables that complex multi-screen storytelling. Now, this kind of reliable engineering, it usually comes from experience, right? The maker is HDTV Supply, Inc. What does their background tell us?
That's a good point. They mentioned being established back in 2003, a 24-year global home for audio and video products.
2 decades is a long time in AV.
It really is. And they're highlighted as a top-quality store rated by Google Shopping and an hdbasedT.org approved adopter.
So, good reputation involved in industry standards.
Exactly. That kind of history and recognition suggests they understand the market, they know the demands of professional AV.
It implies a certain level of quality and reliability.
You'd expect so. Companies that last that long in this field usually do so by building products that work, that solve real problems, and that are reliable. It definitely adds a layer of confidence. You're not buying from some unknown startup.
Right. So when you put it all together, the seamless 4K switching, the flexible control, the wide applications, the experienced manufacturer, it makes sense why they'd position this WolfPack Matrix as, a go-to solution.
Yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes for managing complex visuals effectively.
Yeah.
It solves that core problem of getting multiple sources to multiple screens without hiccups.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows how crucial this kind of specialized hardware is. It's the silent hero, the enabler for all that clear, high-impact visual communication we see in classrooms, boardrooms, command centers, everywhere, really.
It truly is. It's the tech that just makes the visuals work smoothly.
So, thinking about all this,
Yeah.
it does make you wonder, doesn't it? As our world gets more and more visual and we rely more on sharing really complex info across lots of screens.
Everywhere from classrooms to control rooms.
Right. How does that growing demand for seamless high-res switching, like what this WolfPack device offers, how does that shape what's next?
That's a fascinating question. Like, what are the next challenges? Maybe even higher resolutions, more sources and displays, even tighter integration with network infrastructure.
Or maybe making it even easier for non-technical users to manage these complex setups.
Yeah, possibly. What kind of innovations will we need to keep these visual experiences feeling truly effortless and instant, no matter how complicated the system gets behind the scenes? It's definitely something to watch.